Bishop, good to see you again. Last month we witnessed another, what seemed to be a very successful trip by the Holy Father Pope Francis, this time to the Philippines. Huge crowds. It seems like this Pope is very popular and has captured the imagination of people, especially poor people in the Philippines. What were your reactions to the trip and seeing all of those great crowds come out?
Well, it certainly was heartwarming. Again, the Filipinos are people of deep faith. The trips by our other Holy Father, John Paul, I think, and then I think Paul VI went there too. Were great manifestations of faith, and again, his emphasis on the poor. It's a country of great division. There are a lot of poor people. There's some rich people, not too many people in between. So he tried to concentrate his attention on those most in need.
Sure. On his way back on the plane, you know, he has these press conferences and sometimes talks off the cuff and gets into a little bit of trouble with the media, you know, the way it's interpreted. And this time he said something about, he reacted to the terrorist attack in Paris. And he said, you know, that there are limits to religious, to expression, of freedom of speech. And he said that, you know, the Paris, the French magazine, at times went over the line in terms of its satire, and some people said you're blaming the victim here. You know, what are your reactions when you hear something like that? Was he making a point maybe he shouldn't have been making, or does he have a valid point there?
Well, again, our culture is today fixated on personal freedom. You can do anything you want. Well, you can do anything you want, but does it hurt other people? And there's some responsibility in doing what you want to do. You want to engage in political satire, you want to mock somebody else's religion. He gave it a cute example. He says, if you, my friend here, who was working with him, Mr. Gaspari, if he insulted my mother, might want to give him a punch. I'm a Christian, I believe you should turn the other cheek. But that doesn't mean everybody thinks that way. When you're insulting people, they instinctively react against it. And unfortunately, in our society, I would say Christianity, in particular Catholicism, is the butt of many jokes, and there's no limit on what fun they can make of us, and nobody seems to be able to do much about it. We have the Catholic League that works very hard to bring all of these facts out, and if you get their monthly magazine, it's just incredible the things that are said and done in the name of freedom against religious people and religious institutions. So it is a balance. I mean, we just can't do anything we want. I mean, there are rules and regulations on about freedom. Freedom is not without limits, and personal freedom should have an understanding of the freedom and of other people, the personal feelings of other people. So those things need to be balanced somehow.
In no way was he trying to justify the attack on
No, I don't think it was justified. I think he was giving some explanation of why this could have happened, and that people should have better sense than trying to insult other people and expecting that there going to be no reaction. Hopefully there's no violent reaction, but people can express their opinion against things, as we do as Catholics, in a more reasonable way, perhaps not violently, but this is what he was trying to get at.
Another thing he talked about was responsible parenthood, and he made a remark about how people do not have to be like rabbits. They don't have to breed like rabbits, and it may be taken out of context, you know, but he was trying to make a more important point.
Again, I know, the sound bites are what kill us, but he's only repeating church doctrine. Even in Humani Vitae, the document came out under Paul VI that talked about contraception. There, responsible parenthood was the beginning of what we're talking about, that people can and should space their children so that they can properly bring them up. So this is nothing new. It's always been church teaching, perhaps not understood well enough, but that is what we've always taught.
Yeah. And yesterday or the day before in Rome, he was also talking about households where there is no father. And you know, he was talking about how fathers have to be more present to the families. Certainly that's an important topic, even here in our own diocese, with the many fractured families today, isn't it?
It's a very difficult problem that we have. There's one book I always quote is called Fatherless America. And when we look at the statistics, it's shocking that almost half of our children grow up in families without fathers. So what can we expect when there's no male image that's a positive one in a family? This is where we get into the trouble we're in today. People are searching for things. They don't have a father. They don't have an earthly father. Hopefully they turn to their heavenly father. But that doesn't happen when there's no cohesion in a family. People lose their religious values too. So it is important that fathers take responsibility and be present to their children.
Good. Bishop, thanks for being with us.